Good evening.
Magandang gabi sa inyo lahat. Yan. We're so blessed naman. Imbitahan ako ulit dito. Yan.
Yeah, I'm very blessed too. And what we're going to share with you is a love story. But as you listen to us, you'll realize actually that it's a love story of many levels. There are several layers of love stories. But at the end of our story, my prayer is that you'll realize that the greatest love story here, and this is what we're going to share with you, is your own love story. It's about the love story of God loving you. And this is what it's all about. It's all about God's love. And we wouldn't be here if it were not for the Lord really loving us first. Right?
Yes.
Yeah. So, thank you for the movie-like poster that you put together. Kaya nakalagay doon, a man of God. And ibigay sana, actually, woman of God siya. Tapos ako yung...
Ano yun?
Basta. Yun.
Hindi ko na itatanong.
Okay. Sabi nila, pogi, di ba? Pero, I'll share with you. Yeah, so let us share this story, and I hope that you're encouraged.
Okay, buksan ka na.
Yeah, so I'll start siguro. We'll just do like a...
Kwentuhan lang naman to.
Kwentuhan tayo. Okay.
Na may slides. May slideshow.
Medyo nag-iba yung resolution, so medyo magmumukha kaming very healthy and green. I don't know what happened. But I'd like to start the story with something that my son said last year. Joshua is his name, and on April 8, 2013, as I was blowing the candles of my birthday cake, I remember, him closing his eyes, and parang he was saying a prayer. So the next day I asked him, Joshua, what did you wish or pray for Daddy? And mind you, like 3 months before that, his mom, my late wife, passed away. And so, I remember in our bonding time, lying in bed, kinitiyan kami, saying, what did you pray for, Joshua? And then he said, what did you pray for? What was your wish, Dad? And I said, well, I wish that your mom was looking down from heaven and looking at us and seeing that we're happy, that we're moving on, and that she could be happy also. And so, what did you wish for or pray for, Josh? And then Josh said, at that time he was 5 years old, and he looked at me and he said, Dad, I wish the same thing about Mama, that she could be happy, seeing us happy. And you know what I also prayed for, Dad? I prayed that the Lord will give you a new wife.
Kakaiba yung mga prayers ng mga bata. Masyadong malakas.
And so when he said that, I remember that the day April 9, it reverberated, because all throughout my grief, you have to remember that the first love story I really had was between my first wife and I, because we had a love story as well. We were married for 17 years, and when you have a relationship like what we had, pag namatayan ka, para ka naputulan ng it's like a part of you has been ripped off or torn off. And in the months that I was grieving, it was the worst feeling that you could ever have. There were times when I would wish that I could actually join her, and I would be driving down the skyway. We live in the south, and I'd be driving down the skyway. And before, I used to wear glasses, and so as I was driving down the skyway, I would just weep and cry, and my glasses, I couldn't see anymore because it was all fogged up and all wet from tears. And so I was just thinking that maybe it's better if I just drive off the skyway, like the buses do, and then just, join my late wife. And then, pero nag-isip ko, naku, mahirap yung meron pa akong madadamay ng iba, di ba? Meron pa akong mamatay ng iba. But then I remembered my son. I said, I can't do that to my son. And the Lord would tell me and reassure me each time I would think those thoughts, and He'd tell me, huwag ka malungkot, anak. You're going to love again. I'm going to give you one more great love. Okay. And before we go on, in this love story, I have to tell you, I have to share with you, especially for the first timers who are here, that God is a God who speaks. He's not deaf. He's not mute. He's not blind. He sees our pain. He sees our need. And He will meet us at our need. Especially when you need to hear from Him. When you're at your deepest grief or pain, He's going to speak to you if you have a personal relationship with Him. That's why I like the song. If you are a friend of God, a child of God, I can assure you at your point of need, when you need to hear from Him, He's going to speak to you words of encouragement, words of hope, and words of love. And that was what's happening to me. God usually speaks to us through what? Through the Word, through the Bible. When you read the Word, God and His Spirit will speak to your heart. But in many cases, at your point of need, He speaks to you.
Minsan yung pastor din.
Or He used other people, like through my son. And so that was what my son said. Okay, and exactly almost a year to the date that he said that prayer, on March 25. March 25, di ba?
March 25,
March 25, 2014. I got married. How about that? You got married, yeah. I was there.
Ito yun, di ba? Okay, next.
So, God is an amazing God. He will meet you at your need. He will restore you. And He has so many promises in the Bible about that we're going to share. So, I'll share a little more. We just came back now from our honeymoon, or part 3 of our honeymoon. We just came back from Balisin. One of my vows kasi to Miriam is that actually on our first date pa lang, nag-vow na ako sa kanya. Lay down na ako ng intentions. I'll tell you about it later. Pero on our first date, I already told her what my intentions are. And I told her that my intentions were to court her for the rest of her life. So that means forever honeymooning, di ba? So I told her in our first date that my intentions were to know her better and to know her better with the intent of marrying her. So that was the first thing I said to her on our first date. So I'll tell you more about that later, how that happened, how that turned out. Pero yun, so we just came back from Balisin. And we're so blessed because the wedding and the honeymoon, the wedding we were so blessed because when people heard about our love story, people just would come forward and not just give us gifts of kami nang bahala sa wedding ring nyo, kami nang bahala sa catering nyo, kami nang bahala sa wedding dress, sa gown, kami nang bahala sa what else.
Gusto yata nilang malaman kung paano tayo nagkakilala.
We'll get there, pero so we just came back from Balisin, and then before that, we were in Madrid, and we were in Paris, and it was such a blessed honeymoon. Okay, so that's the south of France, and we went to Cannes and Marseille and Nice. Siyempre, lahat ng kuha by...
nasa Monaco yan.
Nasa Monaco.
May Happy Pod.
Happy Pod, yeah. So, kung dala namin sana ngayon, mag-selfie tayo ngayon.
Naiba natin eh.
So, you wanted to know more about how we met and how the love story developed. So, after thinking my first wife passed away, as a writer, I had a contract with a publisher, and I was supposed to write a book on entrepreneurship. But as the Lord kept on reassuring me that I would love again, I was thinking about, if that's true, paano bang manligaw? Paano nga ba, how do we, kasi 17 years ako kasal, tapos 5 years kami steady, so more than 20 years na ako hindi nanligaw or hindi nag-date or whatever, on the court. So, before that, I wrote a book about, I would be giving speeches or talks about purity. Okay? Because before I became a Christian, my background is, I was in media, I was with Metro Magazine. I was an editor there. Tapos minsan nagsa-sideline kami ng editor ko, producing other magazines. And one of the magazines that I produced in-house for an organization called Pegasus. Okay, very respectable organization. So, ang trabaho ko noon with my editor, so we go around the owners of Pegasus. They own a chain of nightclubs. And I would go there and choose and pick the women that we would feature in the in-house magazine at Pegasus. Okay, and so I would produce an in-house pornographic magazine. So, yun ang background ko po. And then when I met the Lord, from, Playboy, publisher wannabe, I became a Playboy kind of guy who would publish now gospel tracts about the love of God. So it's a turnaround. Okay. So, yun. So, yun yung background ko po. So after that, I will be invited to speak about that testimony, about purity, about, protecting your eyes, etc. So it's like, maybe I should write about that, how a man should, first be a man of purity before bago siya manligaw, bago siya, to protect his purity before he goes on courting someone. So I wrote a book, and I got the idea of Pogi. So the book, Pogi, is about how a man should prepare himself for his God's best, for his future potential wife, by being pure, by being obedient to God's commands, by being a gentleman, and by being intense in his relationship. Intense in his relationship with the Lord, and intense with his relationship with his family and his wife.
Side comment lang. Bakit daw Pogi? Kasi ang tawag sa kanya ni Ting ng late wife. Pogi.
Pogi ako.
Pogi.
Tara, naniniwala talaga ako. Ewan kung ba. But that's the background behind that. So, yun nga, that's my first wedding in 1995. And so, yun. So, I mentioned that after 5 years, nagkasakit siya. And her story was even featured in Reader's Digest. And this is a love story of a different kind, because at that time, I thought I would lose her. But the Lord really loved her back to health, and used my love also to gain her back into wellness. So it was a miracle that she, from that, was back in a few months. She had systemic lupus, which is very hard. It's like a cancer of the immune system. So in a few months after that, the Lord really miraculously healed her. And I wrote about that healing in a book called The Heart of Healing. Okay. So it was a great marriage. So when in 2012, when I found out from the doctors that the lupus had resurfaced again, in my mind, sabi ko, baka a few weeks lang yan, wala na yan, bakit yan? But it seemed that it wouldn't be going that way. And you see this picture in the ICU. She was back in the hospital starting July of 2012. Then August, she was still there, in and out. September, she was still there, in and out. October, on her birthday, tumabas siya, pero bumalik siya a week or two later. And by November, by the end of October, she was in the ICU already. So it was a time really of struggle. It was a time of doubt. It was a time of a crisis. And I'm so thankful to her, actually, because all throughout, she never complained. She was still looking out for me and for Joshua. When people would visit her in the hospital, she was the one praying for people. She was the one ministering to people, sharing about God's love. And sabi ko nga kay Miriam, pasalamat ka niya kay Ting Ting kasi ang galing ng training niya sa akin. So, nakikinabang ka. But one thing that I'll never forget, because we would joke around, Ting Ting would tell me, alam mo, Dong, tawag niya sa akin kasi Subwana. Dong, or Pangga, hindi ako pwede mamatay. Kasi pag namatay ako, lugi ako. Kasi lahat na training ko sa iyo, lahat ng pinaghirapan ko, mapupunta lang sa iba. But in her quiet moments, when I was told later on, I only found out last month, and I think sharing this for the first time in public. I only found out last month from her best friend and my good family friend, Carol is her name, that nung bandang December, she had a feeling already. And she told Carol, sabi niya, Carol, wala nang gone. Kasi pagod na ako eh. Make sure that RD, when he marries again, make sure that he marries a woman of God. Make sure that he marries, someone who will love him na higit ka sa akin. So yan yung binili niya sa best friend. Yeah. And I only found out later on. And, it was difficult because the day that she died, the day that she passed away, she was in the ICU. And she had one of those oxygen, she had her tube down her throat, so she couldn't speak. So, hindi kami nakapagpaalam ng maayos. And the only thing that she would just signal to me and try to talk, but I would just tell her, after the doctors told me to prepare because the time was near, it would only be a matter of hours. And so I would just keep on telling her that, honey, you're so blessed because you're going to meet Jesus. You're so blessed because you're going to meet Jesus, and once you see him, just hold his hand and don't let go. Okay? Because now you're going to walk down the aisle. You used to be my bride, but now you're going to be the bride of Jesus. So it was that kind of goodbye. And when she passed, after all our family made paalam na, I asked them to go out because I felt that she wanted to spend one last moment with me. And I just climbed up the bed and cradled her in my arms one last time. And I felt that, she was at peace. And a few minutes after that, she died in my arms. So yun lang yung paalam namin. Hindi kami nakapagpaalam. So in March, a few months later, I got her released because she visited me in a dream. And in that dream, and I blogged about this in my Facebook account on March 29, I think it was last year, she gave me that release. She gave me that, nakapagpaalam kami ng mabuti, kahit sa dream lang. And I knew it was a visitation, it was from God. And so, that's the context and that's the background of how, God pulled me out of my own ICU. Because I was so devastated. My heart was shattered and broken in a million pieces. And God kept on telling me that I would love again. So sabi ko, ano yan? Hindi, ang intention ko was that after my Tingting passed away, was that I would go up to Tagaytay in my mom's house and just be a hermit and just continue writing books. And I could, okay na maging single ako for the rest of my life. So I was really bothered. Nagtataka ako kung bakit lagi sinasabi ni Lord sa akin na don't worry, na magmamahal ako ulit. Okay? And my son would ask me this question, Dad, why did Mom have to die so early? And I would think about it, and I would tell my son, and just be honest, said, anak, hindi ko alam kung bakit. I don't know why your mom had to die so early. But I do know one thing, and I know that God has a plan for us. We're still here. Your mom is already in heaven. She's happy. She's probably dancing with the Lord and praising. But we're still here, and God has a plan for us. And His plans for us, He doesn't mean harm for us. He has a hope and a future for us. So yun lang tandaan natin, anak. Okay? So yun. So yun ang sinasabi ko sa kanya. Tapos after that, yun nga, lagi siya nagpa-pray. Before meals, I asked him to lead the prayer pag breakfast. And yung lagi niya huli, sabi, and Lord, please give my dad a new wife. Lagi siya So yun. And then later on, I realized that the answer to the question of my son just came to me one day in my grief when I was reading an article about this other couple who had experienced almost the same thing but had survived. And I realized that the answer was, kung nagmamahalan kayo talaga, even if pag namatay yung asawa mo, let's say, 50 years later, mag-70 na kayo or 80 or 90, it's always too early. It's always too early. Kasi nag-grief conference ako. Merong mga ganun, merong science of grief. And there was a conference, and I saw this man in his 80s, he was 86 or 87, and he was asking a question, tapos iyak siya kasi yung wife niya of 50 plus years namatay. And it's as if bitin na bitin pa siya. Eh, more than 50 years na niya kasama yung wife niya. So na-realize ko, siguro nga kung talaga nagmamahalan kayo, it's always too early. So yun ang sagot ko later on sa anak ko. So, yun, from suicidal, so ngayon, naging super hopeful ako and super joyful. Because you just have to, know the promises of God. And one of the promises of God, He says, is that, He sent, sabi ni Jesus, He has sent me to heal those with a sad heart or a broken heart, says another version. Yeah? He has sent me to tell those who are being held that they can go free. And He has sent me to make the blind to see and to free those who are held because of trouble. So I would hold on to those promises. He would always promise me that I would love again, and that there's a verse in the Bible that says that He will turn your mourning into dancing. So, that was the background. One day, in the course of going back to normal activity and realizing that I had investments and estate taxes and money to take care of, I invited a friend over to lunch. Okay? And so my intention there at lunch was to ask for advice on investment, where to invest money. And I knew that this friend was into real estate. And so I invited her over to lunch on that March day, late March. And then we had a good time. We had a very pleasant time exchanging stories. So that person that I invited over to lunch was Miriam.
Ako yun. Paano kami nagkakilala? Ganito na. Kasi nga, patagal na kami magkakilala through Anthony Pangilinan. Back then, in 2011, when Anthony introduced me to RD, his wife was still alive. Alam niyo naman, nahiwalay din ako. Tapos, parang, kung siya, parang broken in a million pieces, ganun din na-experience ko kasi nahiwalay nga ako, di ba? Yung, sino dito na present nung first time ko mag-share dito? Ayan. Naalala niyo yung description ko kung paano ako heartbroken? Ulitin ko lang for the sake of those na hindi nakarinig. Kung na-experience nyo na yung heartbrokenness na parang kayong tinagtad ng 100 beses sa dibdib, tapos inikot-ikot-ikot yung puso nyo sa loob ng dibdib nyo, tapos hinatak, tapos tinagtad na parang ball piece, tapos pinisaan ng kalamansi, binugburan ng vinegar na may sili, tapos pinakain sa baboy, ganun po kasakit. Ganun po talaga kasakit ng mahiwalay. And all this time, lagi ko talagang pinagpe-pray kay Lord na i-heal naman niya yung heart ko. Eventually, nag-heal yung heart ko a few years after akong naging Christian. Kasi nagkaroon pa ako ng 2 boyfriend after akong mahiwalay. Tapos, pagkatapos kong hiwalay yung boyfriend ko, saka ako nag-decide na from now on, I'm going to be single because I want to focus on being intimate with the Lord. That was in 2010, July 2010. And since then, for 4 years, I was just focusing on my relationship with the Lord. And doon talaga na-experience ko na nililigawan ako ni Lord talaga. Yung maglalakad ako sa daan, tapos mapapansin ko yung bulaklak na yellow. Napapansin niyo ba yun? Yung may bulaklak na yellow na maliit. Tapos pagtingin ko ng ganun, parang isang bugso ng pagmamahal na lumalabas dito sa puso ko. Tapos sabi ko, Lord, para sa akin yung bulaklak. O kaya magdadrive ako sa may BGC, may 4, tapos makikita mo, double rainbow ng gano'n. Tapos yun naman, may bugso na naman ng pagmamahal. Sabi ko, Lord, para sa akin yung rainbow. Thank you so much. Tapos kinikilig-kilig pa ako ng picture. Talaga, feeling ko talaga gift sa akin ni Lord yun, na nililigawan niya ako. Tapos, ewan ko kung napapansin nyo, pero years ago, pag nai-interview ko, lagi ko sinasabi, pag tinatanong ako, sino boyfriend mo ngayon? Lagi ko sinasabi, Jesus is my boyfriend. Lagi ko binabagdit. So, nawiwirdohan sa akin yung mga press, pero ako wala, dead na. Jesus is my boyfriend. And I find na may mga moments na hindi na ako lumalabas kasama yung mga barkada ko sa party. Gusto ko na lang nasa bahay ako, magbabasa ako ng Bible, tapos date kami ni Lord. Parang ganun talaga yung experience niyo. Kasi buong-buo talaga ako sa Kanya. Nahanap ko talaga yung completeness sa Kanya. Kung dati, naghahanap ako ng pagmamahal sa appreciation ng mga fans, sa appreciation ng mga lalaki. Nung na-meet ko talaga si Lord, parang kompletong-kompleto na lahat talaga ng pagmamahal na hinahanap ko sa labas, nahanap ko talaga kay Jesus. So for 4 years, gano'n ang ginawa ko, na single ako, tapos umattend ako sa church, tapos umattend ako sa Bible study, tapos nung na-realize ko na meron palang such a thing as evangelism meaning you're sharing the goodness and the love of the Lord with others so that they too can come to know the Lord and experience the love and joy and hope and eternal life that we all receive in Christ. So, ganun yung evangelism, sharing the gospel. So, naging active ako sa ministry na ganun. Meron pa nga isang pastor, si Pastor Alex Tinsay, na dating anchor host or TV news reporter dun sa kabilang channel, pastor na siya ngayon. So, he would invite me and then we would go to ministries in many different churches in Pampanga, Nueva Ecija, mga ganon. So, I would go with them to minister, ganyan. So, for the 2 years bago kami ulit bago nung lunch na to, ganun ang ginagawa with them. Tapos, volunteer ako sa 700 Club. And then, since nga, nasave ako ni Lord, tapos pili ko, ang dami kong na-experience for the past decade, gusto kong i-share yun dun sa kung sino magkaka-interest na makinig ng kwento ko. So sabi ko, isulat ko kaya sa libro. And then in 2012, nakatanggap ako ng email galing sa Salt and Light. Salt and Light Ventures is a company that gives training. Siya at yung late wife niya ang founder nun. So matagal na ako umaattend ng mga seminars nila and then I would receive this email invitation. So when I received his invitation for the Project Author Workshop, parang may tumalon yung puso ko. Parang feeling ko, ito talaga yung next step ko. So nag-sign up ako noong January 2012 for his workshop. Doon nagsimula yung mentor-mentee relationship namin. So, wala halos, hindi kami magkakilala. Teacher ko siya, estudyante ako.
Pero as...
Ganun lang, diba, mentor-mentee. Teacher-student, ganun lang.
Hindi siya line up sa akin.
Hindi, kasi nga, hindi naman ikaw yung type ko nun eh. Ang type ko na talaga mestizo, di ba? Alam mo naman.
Roberto nga ako, di ba? May Spanish.
Ilang percent? 2%. Anyway, so teacher ko siya. Siyempre, respeto ko siya. Tapos busy kami sa pagsusulat, ganyan. Naging teacher ko siya for 4 months. Dahil nga, yung life story, hindi lang naman in formats may isusulat yun. Tapos meron pa ako mga TV show, ganyan. So, it really took me some time. Hanggang ngayon nga, tinatapos ko pa yung last few chapters. Pero it took me some time to write my book. So, natapos na yung 4 months, tapos na yung teacher-student relationship namin, nagsusulat pa rin ako. A month later, nagkaroon ng tragedy sa family nila. Tapos, nagkasakit na si Tingting. Wala kaming communication ng whatsoever. Until January 2013, nakatanggap na lang ako ng text sa kanya na his wife passed away and she's going to be in this memorial chapel in Parañaque, in Sucat. So, nagtawag kami ng mga classmates namin. Pumunta kami doon. Tapos, nagulat nga kami kasi hindi siya umiiyak. Parang in-entertain pa niya yung mga guests. Tapos, nandun yung tauli Tingting. Tapos, nandun yung, usually, di ba sa mga patay, merong mga flowers. Tapos, may pictures, may buhay pa yung babae, yung namatay. Tapos, iba't ibang mga memorabilia. So, may mga ganun din sila. Nagsulat pa nga sila ng libro, Money in Marriage. Yan. Tapos, ang dami yung mga pictures. Tapos, kita mo talaga na very happy marriage nila, na may mga flowers pa siyang binigay sa kanya, nagta-travel sila together, meron silang anak. Tapos, basta, it really looked like a happy marriage. And, may picture doon nung nasa hospital si Tingting. Tapos nabalitaan nga namin na inalagaan niya si Tingting. Tapos grabe talaga, I was so amazed at the capacity of love of Sir RD. Na Sir RD pa talaga, Sir. Tapos, ay ko, grabe talaga itong pagmamahal na to. Eh, may mga moments ako na meron ako mga private conversations with God na naglalakad lang ako, kinakausap ko siya, o kaya naghugas ako ng pinggan kasi wala akong maid sa bahay. Hugas ako ng pinggan, tapos nag-uusap kami ni God. So, nung nakita ko to, nag-usap na naman kami ni God. Sabi ko, God, I want a love like that from my God's best. Kung hindi niya na itatanong, nung 4 years na single ako, lahat ng mga qualities na gusto ko sa lalaki, sinasabi ko kay God. God, responsable, gusto ko ganyan. God, gusto ko faithful, gusto ko ganyan. Gusto ko, Lord, matalino. Gusto ko, Lord, good provider. Gusto ko po, Lord, mabait, humble, teachable, ganyan. So, nagsulat pa nga ako ng listahan ng lahat ng mga qualities na gusto ko sa aking God's best. Umabot sa 40 qualities kasi dinescribe ko siya spiritually, intellectually.
40, no? Nandito, nakabisa dito sa
Nandiyan, sa page. So, spiritually, intellectually, financially, emotionally, mentally, character-wise, tsaka physical. So, lahat talaga yan dinescribe ko. Tapos, naglista pa ako ng 20 situations that God should orchestrate in order for me to identify that this man is God's best for me. Yun, talaga, 20. So, sabi ko, napaka-demanding, ano? Sabi ko, dapat talaga lahat ng ito ma-fulfill ng lalaki nyo para ma-identify ko na God's best ko ito. So, nung 4 years akong single, may mga moments na happy-happy kami ni Lord. Pero meron ding mga moments na namimiss ko na meron akong kahalikan, namimiss ko meron akong ka-holding hands. Tapos lonely ako, iniyakan ko lang si Lord. Pero finally, nung 2013, sabi ko, Lord, this is the year when I'm going to fall in love. Sabi pa nga sa akin ni Pastor Alex, sabi niya, you don't even have to look for the man. Just focus on Jesus, do His work, and He will bring the man to you. Kasi nga, ang request ko kay Lord, Lord, ang dami kong nakikita mga babae na naghahabol sa mga lalaki. Yung dati kong crush na mistiso, parang ako din ang naghahabol energetically. Kahit hindi ko siya nililigawan. Alam mo yun, energetically na inaakit nyo, pero walang nagaganap, di ba? So parang ganun. So, pagod na talaga ako. Nakaka-relate. Tuwan-tuwa sila. So sabi ko, Lord, sa dami ng mga lalaki sa buong mundo, paano ko malalaman kung sino sa kanila ang God's best ko? If I spend time with this man, baka ma-develop ako sa kanya. How will I know? What if hindi siya yung God's best ko? Di masasaktan na naman ako. Ayoko na masaktan, Lord, ang sakit-sakit. Pwede ba ikaw na lang mamili para sa akin? Total, iisa lang naman ang kailangan ko, di ba? Pwede ba? Gusto ko yung choice mo. Tapos, Lord, I don't even want to lift a finger. I want you to bring him to me. No, demanding. Demanding. So, nagsalang ako request lang ako kay Lord, gusto ko ganyan. So, nung nakita ko to, yung capacity niya for love, sabi ko, Lord, I want a love like that. Tapos, sumagot si Lord. Feeling ko, parang ginagano niya ako dito sa may tagiliran. Sabi niya, gusto mo, ikaw na? Gusto mo, ikaw na? Sabi ko, anong ibig sabihin nun? Ako na susunod kay Tingting? Sana? Gusto mo, ikaw na? Ha? Lord, nakakaya naman. Nakahiga pa ako si Lord talaga. So, feeling ko talaga, niloloko ako ni Lord. So, dinedba ko. Pagdating ng mga February, nakatanggap kami ng text sa kanya. Kasi huling habilin pala ni Tingting, i-follow up yung mga estudyante niya para matapos yung mga libro. So, nag-text siya sa amin, tapos nag-meet naman kami ng classmates ko, tapos meron kami mga writing sessions. Tapos, so, ginawa namin yung mga 3-4 times, diba? Tapos, bandang March, nakatanggap na ako ng text sa kanya to invite me to lunch. So, ako, para wala lang, teacher ko siya, ganyan. So, ngayon siya naman ang gustong magpaturo sa akin ng real estate. So, ngayon kami. Tapos, doon na nagsimula yung masasabing friendship namin. Dahil, nagkamustahan tayo noon, di ba?
So, the first thing I asked her was kamusta ka na, Miriam? Why? Kasi I was trying to actually late siya, so I started writing in my BlackBerry pa noon. And I read to her a chapter that I was working for in the book, Women and Pogi. And then I remember asking her, hindi ba parang nag-grieve ka rin kasi pag nag-divorce ka, para ka na rin namatayan ng asawa, di ba? Parang, hindi ba ganun yun? And I asked her about what happened sa past relationship nila. And then she also asked me about how I was doing. And I would share with her what God was impressing upon my heart. Sabi ko, alam mo, sinasabi ni Lord sa akin na magmamahal daw ako ulit. Pero sinasabi ko sa kanya, pero hindi ko alam kung paano mangyayari yun kasi yung puso ko talaga, durog na durog, is really broken into a million pieces. And so I told the Lord, the only way that can happen, that I can love again, is that if the Lord gives me a brand new heart, that He gives me a heart transplant. That's the only way. Kasi kung sino man yun, kawawa naman yung mamahalin ko, durog-durog na yung, lamog-lamog na yung puso ko. So sabi ko, kailangan brand new heart. Yun. So, we were talking.
Tapos tanong naman niya sa akin, ikaw, kamusta ka? May boyfriend ka ba? Are you engaged again? Sabi ko, hindi. Single ako. What? For 4 years na? What? I find that hard to believe. Bakit? Ano bang nangyari sa inyo ng ex-husband mo? Kasi wala kaming communication. Sabi niya. Yun sabi ko. Tapos, pero you know what? I'm waiting kasi for my God's best. Yun ang sabi ko. Okay.
Tapos iniisip ka, sino kaya yun, Lord? Sino kaya yun? Sabi ko, tapos nagtataka talaga, ba't mo lang nalililo? Bakit ganyan? Ba't single ka pa rin? Parang hindi ako makapaniwala na 4 years single ka na. Parang ano nangyari sa mga lalaki ngayon? Parang, ano ba, bakit torpe ba ngayon mga lalaki ngayon? Or are they intimidated? So I was actually asking her to get, material for my book. Parang gano'n. So I was really asking a lot of questions.
Sa loob ko, material, siguro naghahanap ka na. Sa loob ko, baka naghahanap ka na. Bakit handa ka na ba?
Prepare ako kasi sabi nga, Lord, pero I didn't expect that it would be.
Okay,
soon. But anyway.
So kwentuhan lang kami ng kwentuhan. Kasi eventually yung kwentuhan namin, nadala din sa real estate. So binigyan ko ng advice. Pero na-disappoint siya kasi hindi ko siya niyaya doon sa investment ko.
Gusto ko na intention ko sa lunch niya, nag-impitahin niya ako to be a partner in a project or tapos nung I was trying to fish na I was telling him na I have money to invest. Wala siya. Dead man lang siya. Wala siya. So, sabi ko, wala.
Kasi gusto ko partner ko yung mababakasawa ko.
So, at the end, masarap yung usapan namin. And then, by the end of the lunch, actually, kami na lang tao noon. So,
natira.
And then, she said that she had a business presentation. At that time, she was working for another training company na actually competitor namin. But still,
tapos yung gabi, meron akong evangelistic talk sa isang church.
So, bago kami naghiwalay during that lunch, sabi ko, sige, I know you have to go, but let me pray for you first. Let me pray for your business meeting and for your presentation tonight. So, nag-pray ako. As a brother in Christ, I would usually do that. So, but at the end of the prayer, biglang parang may sundot na pag-pray mo yung God's best niya. So, mag-ano na ako sana, I was gonna close the prayer and say, and all these things we ask in Jesus. And then, Lord, PS pala. PS. Kung sino man yon na hinanda mo na magiging asawa ni Miriam, whoever it is that you prepared to be Miriam's God's best, her life partner, pakisabi na nga sa taong yon kasi huwag na siya magpatorpe-torpe, kung sino man yun, huwag na siya magpatumpik-tumpik, at mag-launch out na siya kaagad, ASAP, sabihin mo sa kanya. So, ako naman, tuwa-tuwa ako, sabi ko, sino kaya yun?
Parang ako yun.
Hindi, ako, iniisip ko rin kaya
ako din, kinikilig
excited ako para sa kanya.
Ako kinikilig din ako, kasi akala ko yung crush ko noon. Huwag na-launch out. Kaya lang, hindi siya Christian. Kaya hindi talaga siya yung God's best.
Anyway, so, nagulat ako. Sabi ko, okay, I did my part as a Christian while I prayed for her. And I was ready to stand up. And then I saw that she was still closing her eyes.
Ako naman, I will pray for you. Sabi ko, Lord, I pray that you will heal his heart, that you will comfort him in his grief. And Lord, I pray that you will grant him a heart transplant, a new heart, so that he can love again. Tapos parang in my prayer, sabi sa akin ng Holy Spirit, sabihin mo ASAP. Eh di sinabi ko, ASAP. ASAP talaga. Kami pala.
Pero in that moment, there was a flash in my head that I saw a scene, like in a movie, I saw a scene where I was with her. Nung nag-pray siya doon, I saw a scene that I was with her, and the background was, it was New Year's Eve. Tapos, nagkikissing kami. So, tapos, sinaga ko, napagano ako. Tapos, sorry. Ano kaya? Sabi ko, ano kaya yun? Ang sabi ko, baka guni-guni ko na yun. And then, when we said goodbye, I remember, because she was wearing platform 6 inches heels. So, pag beso-beso namin, gumunong pa ako sa kanya. Tapos sabi ko, hindi ito siguro lang, masyadong matangkad. Ganun lang. And then I totally forgot about that, that scene, that image in my mind. And then, because a few days later, it was my son's preschool level up graduation. Iyak na naman ako sa shower kasi naghahanda ako, tapos naawa ko na yung anak ko lang yung walang mami na mag-a-attend dun sa class niya. So iyak na naman ako. I was having a pity party in the shower, crying out to God, feeling sorry for myself that I was left behind, and just crying my eyes out. Talagang, di na nga kailangan mag-shower kasi yung luha ko, yung pang shampoo ko, So, pulang-patas, iyak na iyak. And then, in the midst of my grief and crying, the Lord again reassured me and spoke to me and said, Anak, you're going to love again. You're going to have one more great love. And then, pag-usap na ako sa kanya, sabi ko, Lord, if that's true, if that's you, if that's true, how can I love again? And if ever I'm going to, you have to be the one who will orchestrate. You have to be the one who will write the love story. Okay? And I heard the voice say, ikaw kaya yung writer, di isulat mo. Tapos, sabi ko, sige Lord, tayong dalawa. Go-write tayo. And then in my mind, I was saying, but Lord, it's going to be so difficult because, I haven't been in the scene. Paano ba manligaw ngayon? Kasi, ano ba ang gagawin ko? Pupunta ako sa singles retreat, tapos I'll go in the middle of the room and just, paano ba manligaw ngayon ng isang Kristiyano? Hindi ko alam. And I feel tired, and I feel, I'm feeling old, Lord, I'll be turning 47. Tapos, Lord, ikaw nang bahala, ikaw na ang mamili. Sabi ko, whoever it is, Lord, can you just tell me, para isang kasi ayoko yung magliligaw, tapos after 6 months, hindi pala yan, before you know it, 50 na ako. Diba? But in my heart of hearts, when I asked Him, Lord, sino ba yung piniprepare mo na sinasabi mong next great love ko? Sino ba? And then He told me, anak, yan ang regalo ko sa iyo. Mamili ka. Mamili ako. Wow! Pwede pala yun. I can choose. So suddenly my mind went into, parang naging, alam mo yung iPad, may album, ng mga pictures, bigla gumagano ng mga pictures of potentials. Tapos sabi ko, sino kaya? And then, okay. And so I was suddenly, in my mind, I was already choosing. And all these pictures of potential marriage partners were whizzing in my mind. And all this is happening in, seconds. And then I got surprised because ako, Rishi, ang type ko talaga, he saw my first wife, Ting-Ting, she's Cebuana, she's mestiza. Ganun ang type ko. Kung type niya mestizo, ako type ko mestiza. So, yun ang hinahanap ko muna. Nagpo-form na ako ng list in my mind. Gusto ko 30 years old to 32. Gusto ko anak ng pastor. Gusto ko ganito, ganyan. Walang... And then suddenly, in the midst of all those pictures, I saw a picture of Miriam. And I got surprised. I said, Lord, hindi pwede yan kasi maraming baggage. So, sige. This is the truth, And then, tumigil na. So, parang the Lord was impressing me, consider. And then, her face stopped in front of my mind again, in my mind's eye. I said, Lord, celebrity. Gusto ko yung tahimik lang ng buhay. Yung parang celebrity na, gusto ko low profile lang. So, hanap ulit. Tumigil na naman yung picture niya. Lord. Sabi ko. So, So isip ako. And then the word that came was partnership. And I remembered the lunch that we had and how we enjoyed it, and how she had a passion for the lost, how she had a passion for God, and for sharing the gospel and the good news. And I said, pareho kami ng passion. I said, Lord, hindi pwede kasi nga ito na yung sabi ko, hindi ko yata kaya, Lord, kasi number one, I'm not naman impressed with beauty kasi maganda naman yung first wife ko, pero hindi ang hinahakot na, Lord, you really a woman after your heart, really a woman of God. And then I remembered her passion, and I remembered this, and then I was debating within myself, and then I found myself suddenly saying, Lord, hindi ko kaya to. Kasi it's not a secret naman that before Miriam became a Christian, that she had posed for Playboy before, in those years that she was confused. And then I said, Lord, hindi ko kaya kasi baka what if mag-asawa kami? And then one day, my son comes up and is crying, and then he said, Daddy, sabi ng mga kaklasik ko, si Mommy, diba? Well, so hindi ko yata kaya, Lord, na nag-post siya for Playboy. And as I said that, I felt the wrath of God. I felt that God was telling me,
binatukan ka.
Who are you to judge her? And suddenly, I'm into memory verses, and for the whole week, that week, I was memorizing Matthew chapter 7, verse 1. Do not judge, or you too will be judged. Do not look at the speck in your neighbor's eye when you have a log in it. And then God reminded me, sino ka ba para i-judge siya, yung aking anak, yung aking princess? Because who were you and where were you when I picked you out from the mud? Di ba gusto mo maging Playboy publisher? Mas naalala ko nga pala. Mas masahol pa ako. Siya, biktima na siya, pinapost siya na, she was under circumstances. But I wanted to publish Playboy. That was my ambition before. And so, suddenly my heart softened, I felt convicted, and I said, okay, sige Lord. Sige, okay. Why not? If the God of the universe will match me with Miss Universe. And then I said, but Lord, if this is your will, this is too big a step for me to just go out, tas maniligaw ako, hindi pwede. Baka sabihin niya, sira ulo ko. I'm losing it. So I said, and I remember kneeling down and just praying. I said, Lord, if this is really from you, this is your will, at least give me a sign. And number 2, before I even launch out and whenever that date is, it wouldn't be now, it's too soon, but whenever that is, whisper my name to her heart, even before I court her, so that she knows that it's me. So yun yung prayer ko. And then I went down, I realized we were getting late, I went down, picked up my son, told them to rush in the car with the yaya, and then I started, sabi ko, sige, sakay na. Tapos pag turn on ko na ignition ng kotse, back out, bilang, sabi ko, bakit nasa AM station? Usually naka-CD yan, or naka-USB. And then when I was backing out, I realized, familiar yung boses na yun, sila kayo ini-interview. Pag-under ko, it was Miriam's voice on the radio, being interviewed on DZAS, sharing her life story. And then as I could hear God saying, Arlie, meet Miriam. And in that interview that went on for 45 minutes, ang haba, from my house all the way to the rehearsal of my sons. I parked in the parking lot. I told Yaya, sige, dali mo siya, tatapusin ko lang to. I listened to the whole interview, and I realized lahat ng mga objections ko na celebrity, my baggage, na gusto ko, I realized that how, where Miriam came from, that she was a simple girl, and she was just a woman looking for love, that she was looking for God's love, and that she was just preparing herself for God's best. And my heart started to melt and turn towards her.
Yeah. Okay. Tapos kailan sinabi ni Lord na mag-launch out ka?
Tapos, nung dadasal ako kung kailan was, kasi I was still healing, I was still grieving. And a pastor friend of mine told me, you know, I think because before that I had organized a celebration of Ting Ting's life where I invited all of her friends, and I went through this whole week of gathering her stuff and just, you know, parang it was a release. So I just gathered all of the closest family and friends and in celebration of Ting Ting's life. And then after that, my pastor friend told me, you know, Arlie, I think you're ready for the next step. I said, what? Okay, remarriage? Huh? So soon? A few months pa lang? No, you can start thinking about it, but I think you're ready because you prepared yourself. And yun pala yun, when you, there's, it's actually common, and I just found out in grief conferences that when a spouse, especially a man, takes care of a wife who is terminally ill, there is what you call anticipatory grief. So, dun sa pag-aalaga, prepare, parang nag-grieve ka na. So, by the time the wife finally passes away, parang naka 6 months ka na grieving. And you're already halfway there. So, that's why pala, after 6 months, I found myself ready, which was, when I found myself ready to launch, the impression was to launch out on her birthday, May 20.
In the meantime, di ba March kami nag-lunch? Noong April, meron pa kami mga inaasahan ko pa yung isa kong crush ang manligaw sa akin, pero wala talaga. Dinasalan ko, nilhuran ko ng isang buong taon. Sabi ko, Lord, gawin mo siyang Christian. Hindi pa rin. So, umiinom pa rin siya, nag-iossi pa rin siya, tapos mukhang hindi pa siya ready kasi he's sowing his wild oats. Hindi naman siya Christian. Sabi ko, siguro hindi ito ang God's best ko. Sino kaya ang God's best ko? Siguro nga, I should move on. Pero sabi ko, Lord, sino ba? Gusto ko na siyang ma-meet. Kasi 4 years na akong single. Tapos nga, gusto ko rin one day makapangasawa ko. Lord, nirestore mo naman lahat ng aspeto ng buhay ko. Di ba heartbroken ako, tapos hinil mo yung buhay ko. Naskam ako ng life savings ko, nirestore mo yung financial stability ko. Dati, hindi kami maayos sa mga magulang ko. Ngayon, okay na yung relationship namin. Tapos binalik mo din naman yung career ko. Kahit pababa na, binigyan mo pa rin ako ng movie. May KTM pa ako. Di ba? Kung tayo magkakalayo. Dito. Tapos, yun. So, ang daming mga nirestore ni God sa buhay ko. Sabi ko, Lord, pwede bang i-restore ba din naman yung family life ko? Tapos, sino ba yung God's best ko na mapapangasawa ko na? Gusto ko na siyang ma-meet. I want to start planning my life with Him. Tapos, yung impression sa akin, kung sino man yung God's best ko, mamimit ko sa birthday ko. Ay, exciting! So, pagdating ng May, sabi ko, this whole month is going to be my month-long celebration. Tapos, I'm going to delight in the Lord. So, He will give me the desires of my heart. Pagdating ng May 2, may nag-surprise sa akin. Dati, I was helping market for a training company. So, they surprised me with a birthday cake. So, I blew the candle. And then, usually, pag nag-blow ako ng birthday cake, ng birthday candle, I would say, I wish for love, joy, peace, or thank you, Lord, for the blessings. Di ba gano'n naman tayo? Pero for some reason, very specific yung wish ko. Pag blow ko, sabi ko, I want love life for my birthday. Tapos biglang parang may bulong na lang ba sa puso ko. Parang siyang bulong kasi parang thought bubble na dito talaga nanggaling, naramdaman ko. Tapos isa siyang pangalan. Ang pangalan ay Arlie. Sabi ko, bakit? Hindi naman yun yung type ko. Hindi ko talaga in-expect. So parang, hindi siguro guni-guni ko lang yun. I-move forward ako. Pagdating ng mga 4 days bago ng birthday ko, nag-launch yung SM Aura, yung bagong bukas yung SM Aura. Tapos, nakasalubong ko yung isang kaibigan ko, pangalan niya si May. Ako nag-introduce sa kanya dun sa isang pang kaibigan, tapos nagkatuluyan sila. So, parang meron akong seed of love dun sa babaeng yun. So, nagkasalubong kami. Tapos sabi niya, oh, Miriam, kamusta ka na? May boyfriend ka na ngayon? Sabi ko, hindi, wala nga Talaga, kahit pangkilig lang, wala kang boys. Sabi ko, alam mo naman ako, hindi ako pangkilig lang. Hinahanap ko talaga yung mapapangasawa ko na. Ganun ba? So, busy ka ngayon? Oo, ano yung kinakabisihan mo? Sabi ko, nagsusulat ako ng libro, tapos I'm helping this training company. Nagsusulat ka ng libro? May mentor ka ba? May nagtuturo sa'yo? Sino tumutulong sa'yo? Sabi ko, oo, meron akong mentor. Pangalan niya si R.D. Roberto. R.D. Roberto, alam mo bang sinusundan ko yung mga vlogs niya sa Facebook? He seems like a great guy, ha? Baka kayo na. Alam mo, for some reason, hindi ko alam kung bakit. Parang tinanggap ko siya sa puso ko. Tapos sabi ko, if it is the Lord's will. Nagulat talaga ako sa sarili ko. Tapos the next day, nakatanggap ako ng bulaklak. May nagpadala sa akin 3 days in advance ng bulaklak for my birthday. Ang pangalan niya ay RD. May kasama pang libro, yung autobiography ni Pilar Pilapil. Kaya di ba nagsulat din siya, Christian din yun eh. So, pinadala niya yung libro para daw ma-inspire ako na tapusin ko yung libro ko. Hindi tinawagan ko siya, sabi ko, bait kami ng guy na to. Yung pala, alam na niya na maglo-launch out na siya. Yun na pala yun. Di tinawagan ko siya, hi, Sir RD. Uy, natanggap ko yung flowers. Thank you so much, ha? Hey, thank you so much, ha? Pero nakapansin ko, yung dulo ng boses ko, parang nagka-curl na ng gano'n. Hindi. Tapos, oh nga pala, friend ko nga pala to. So, chika. Okay, thank you again. Bye-bye. Yeah. So, for some reason, nakwento ko sa kanya that for my birthday, I didn't plan any party, pero mag-volunteer ako sa 700 Club. So, parang ganun lang. And then,
Mahal ko isend yung flowers kasi parang sige eh.
Sige, ikaw.
So, before I launch siya, sabi ko, ano kaya? Sasabihin ko kaya yung pangalan ko or papadala ko na lang ng anonymous or ano. So, kasi hindi ka naman anymore. So I had to call a common friend and sabi ko, ano kaya? Her name is Jane. Jane, ano kaya? I plan to just send her flowers tapos sabihin ko, I'll just put initials there like, you know, and then basta I forgot na what I'm going to put na parang tapos sabi ng friend niya, ay, sure, para naman kayong stalker niya. So, sabi ko, gano'n. Oh, pero kayo bahala, pag-pray nyo, kung ano. So, I was in that flower shop, and I was thinking, sabi ko, sige na, lagay ko na yung pangalan ko. So, lagay ko na yung pangalan ko, bayad ako, bilang meron song sa radio, Barry Manilau, If I Should Love Again.
Yun ba yun? Ready to take a chance.
I should love again.
Yeah, I should talaga. On cue eh, no? Tapos, yun, for that weekend, yung birthday weekend ko, sabi ko, delight in the Lord. So, kumanta ako sa Saddleback Church, napanta ko ngayon, Lord, tayo dalawa lang talaga. Kasi you're going to, He will give me the desires of my heart. Yan, tapos, so, araw ng birthday ko, eto na. Nawala talaga sa isip ko na may minute ko. Basta alam ko lang, yung wish ko, i-grant ni Lord. So, nag-lunch kami ng family ko. Tapos, nung gabi, nagpunta ako sa 700 Club. Nag-host ako. Tapos, sabi ng director, lipat kami sa 5th floor. Kasi yung studio nila nasa 3rd floor. So, lilipat kami ng 5th floor para dun sa kabilang studio. Pagpasok ko ng elevator, guess who shows up? Ardy. Pero hindi niya alam yung sinabi sa akin ni Lord. Bakit ka nga ba nasa 700 Club?
Kasi that night, I was in Araneta Coliseum with my sister, her son, and yung mga friends. And then...
Sa concert ni Nick Vujicic.
Yung seminar niya. But then, although, on the way back, parang may nagsasabi sa akin, dumaan ka sa 700 ka, dumaan ka. Sabi ko, hindi ko naman kotse ito. Parang paano yun eh. And then, nung palapit na, 700 Club in Sagittarius sa may Salcedo, yung last turn na pwede siguro was, Buendia, sa EDSA malapit na. So, parang ito,